Hey, Zach, here we are, OhioValleyAthletics.com, where we're just better, Zach.
Just better.
And as we roll on, the fall sports season here, football's here, volleyball's here, golf, cross country, we got all kind of stuff going on in the Ohio Valley, Zach.
Tons of stuff.
It's exciting. 50 schools in the OVAC participating in all these sports across the board, and get to watch these kids participate. It's just something great.
Well, listen, and Jeff, we love doing this. We love doing the STREAMcast. We love getting some news out to you guys. If you have ideas for stuff we can cover on here, other than just like, news breakdowns or game breakdowns, let us know in the forums, all that sort of stuff. And we love doing this so much. You and I are such huge football fans. We are actively recording during Thursday night football. That's how much we love doing this.
That's amazing, Zach.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Like, it's not like we have it on another tab while we're recording or anything. Like, that's definitely not what we're doing.
Not happening.
But we're not going to comment on it. It's not live.
No, I don't even know what the score is.
Don't even know if it's a tie. Don't even know if it's a tie game. Don't know if Dan Campbell ran a fake punt on his own 18. Like, we don't know that.
We don't know anything.
We don't know that. But
hey, let's start off, Zach. Let's thank our sponsors. We were just talking before we came on and about the United States Army, and without them coming on board, this kind of stuff doesn't happen. Us, promoting the kids and giving back to the community. Without the U.S. Army, that doesn't happen. And then big news for the U.S. Army for the sports program.
Sports team, yeah.
They're joining the American Athletic Conference.
I think it's pretty cool.
They're in discussions right now. I don't think it's official, but it broke today that I saw, and I think SMU is leaving. They're going to the Big 12, and they need to replace that member. And what other great institution to replace them other than the U.S. Army?
Absolutely. I mean, it's really cool. I think it's really I don't know. I know you being a Notre Dame guy, you're a big fan of like those teams that are still independent, right? And a lot of those military academies are in that sort of gamut. So the Army moving into that is kind of neat.
Yeah, moving into a conference, a little something to play for, conference championships with their sports programs, and just to give the kids something to work towards. They're already in the United States Army, so they're working hard enough, but maybe a little conference championship would be a little something
Absolutely,
on top of it.
It'd be really cool. It'd be really awesome.
But again, we thank the U.S. Army being one of our big sponsors. They sponsor our podcast, and they sponsored our preview magazine and our website, and just everything they do for us, Zach. We couldn't do this without them. Some other sponsors we'd like to thank. Ohio Valley Nutrition. They've been on since the beginning.
Always with us.
I was just there this weekend, and it's great to go in there and just all the new products they always have. I mean, they're always getting the best, the newest things on the market. When you go over there, and that you get your multivitamins, you can get weight loss, you can get protein supplements, all kinds of things over there. It's not just about gaining muscle and gaining mass. And don't forget, you can use that neat little scale over there, Zach. You get on there.
You love the scale.
I love that thing. I got to get on it pretty soon. I haven't been on that thing in a while. I might go this weekend. And you just hold on to these two little handles, and it gives you all kind, like your water weight. It gives your fat percentage. It gives all kind of readings, and they give that to you, and then they base what your needs off of that, and it's something great that they do.
It's awesome. It's really cool. Yeah, and then Swan Sports Shop.
Swan
Sports Shop. They just did some awesome polos for us at Sherrard for our coaching staff.
Football.
The one we got was awesome embroidered. I wore it the day after I got it because I was like, this looks so sharp. We were on a bye week, so we didn't have a game, and I was like, I want to wear this just because it looks awesome. It's great stuff. I mean, they have a huge variety of products available out there. Huge,
just unbelievable. No matter what you want, I don't care if it's jackets, polos, pants. Sports equipment, you need footballs, you need soccer balls, you need volleyballs. They got all that stuff. No matter what you need for your teams out there, they have it at Swan Sports Shop. Tell them we sent you. Tell them you heard us on OV Athletics, and go over there, talk to Brad and the girls over there, and they're going to get you set up. It's something really nice. Whether it be apparel, whether it be gear, anything that you need, Swans is going to set you up. And then, hey, it's fall season. You want to go out, and everybody wants to see the leaves changing on the trees. Take a little trip. If you went to see for yourself and just said, I want to take a nice fall trip, maybe not this week or next week, but the next couple weeks when the leaves start changing on the trees and everybody wants to see that, go to see for yourself and just say that's what you want to do, and they're going to set you up.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, it's been so long since we've seen Tom at one of these recordings. Who knows? Maybe he went and saw for himself.
Maybe that's where
he's gone. Maybe he's at a beach somewhere.
I don't know.
Maybe he's been taken and Liam Neeson's hunting for him. Like, we just don't know where Tom is. Like, he's MIA, but I bet he went and saw for himself and got himself a good deal.
A good deal on a nice trip.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, Zach, again, thank you to our sponsors. And how about getting into some sports, Zach?
It's time. Yeah, let's do it.
How about getting? Do they call it the hardwood in volleyball since they play on the basketball court? Is it called the hardwood?
I don't know if it's
What's it?
The floor, the
floor,
court,
the
like,
court. Is it court?
I think
court, maybe a court.
Yeah.
So let's get to the court.
Yeah, the court.
We're gonna find another nickname for the court because basketball court, and then it's a hardwood. Let's find one. We know enough volleyball people. Let's find the nickname for where they play.
There's got to be a name for it.
Yeah, there's got to be one.
Maybe I just don't know it.
Where better to start in volleyball than a great triple A, soon to be quadruple A matchup between the John Marshall Monarchs and the Wheeling Park Patriots, Zach. Down in Moundsville at the Field House. It doesn't get better than that.
I mean, two blue blood programs. I mean, both Coach Haar and Coach Gentle do a fantastic job with these two teams. They're absolutely both loaded, top to bottom. And the crazy thing to me about it, Jeff, is John Marshall got the win. They got a win by the scores of 31-29, 25-19, and 25-18. Which those aren't super runaway games either.
How about the 31-29, Zach?
31-29 is awesome.
Getting those extra points.
Back and forth.
Hey, that's worth it. You get extra for your money there.
Absolutely, it's awesome.
Unless you're Marshall County resident, and then you go get your pass. You're getting
your activity pass.
Yeah, get your activity pass and get in for
But I mean,
free.
just really awesome. I mean, they just literally traded points. In the first set, for example, there were 10 ties. 10 ties in
31-29, there's going to be a lot of ties.
10 ties. I mean, just really, really, really awesome. And like I said, those are two fantastic teams. And the crazy part is that John Marshall team's young.
Yeah.
They're young.
Yeah.
They're young. I think they. I had my list of how many seniors they had, but I mean, the number's low. I mean, they're a young team.
Well, I do know, Nia Miller's a player on the team.
Nia.
She's just a sophomore. Mason Inklin plays. She's just a sophomore.
There we go.
They don't upset Kaylee Darrow.
Just 3 seniors and 6 sophomores.
Yeah. So just great job, Kaylee Darrow and Nia Miller. Ashley Mason's another
Mason
Sherrard
Inklin.
kid, and Mason Inklin's another Sherrard kid came on for the Monarchs in the victory. Not to be outdone, Jillian Huffman up at Wheeling Park had a great match. 17 assists, 14 digs, I believe.
Absolutely.
A bunch of kills there. She had a great game. The Monarchs tonight playing host to Brook and Morgantown. They're coming in a triangular. And Wheeling Park's going down to University.
Yeah,
down to Morgantown.
a lot of those names that we threw out there too. I mean, we can say why. We can tell you why that John Marshall volleyball team is so talented is because a bunch of those names you guys might remember from some of our spring episodes.
Yes,
when we talked about the state softball champion,
Monarchs.
I mean, a lot of those names are similar. A lot of those are carryovers, which just just shows that those kids aren't just one sport athletes. They're doing it all down at John Marshall.
Yeah, bringing those winning attitudes, and it carries over, Zach. When you win in something, you bring that attitude with you to other sports and even to the classroom. You can bring that too. That's what makes sports so great. You can bring that winning attitude to everything in your life. How about another matchup? We have Wheeling Central and Toronto.
Oh, Wheeling Central and Toronto. Okay.
Yeah. The Red Knights, their first loss of the season there. Central was not able to give Toronto their first loss of the season. They stay unblemished. Close matchups though, Zach.
Absolutely.
You had 25-14, 25-19, and 25-23 there in that last one. Wheeling Central just wouldn't go away at the Maroon Knights Athletic Complex there in East Wheeling. They put up a fight against a very good Toronto team. And again, talking about young teams, Wheeling Central is another young team. And so with
so they're kind of that young team that's kind of looking for their identity a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially in single A. Sometimes it's kind of hard to fill those ranks because you have those kids that were playing. You saw how they meshed together. And then once those kids graduate, it's like you're trying to fill those again. And like we all know, you and I both know it. I mean, volleyball is one of those sports where it seems like, the middle schools sort of filter up. And a lot of those parochial schools don't have necessarily, if they have volleyball teams, they're not that they're not necessarily strong, but they're not feeding in as much as maybe like a football program might be with like the junior Knights feeding into Wheeling Central. So it's a little bit different. Then you see those kids that, play on these travel teams together in volleyball, and then they're like, do they want to go to the same school together? And so we see a lot of those travel teams actually filter from their feeder middle school up to the high school. So sometimes it can take a little bit longer for a team like Central to sort of rebuild in a sport like volleyball.
Yeah, and then, Coach Beth Blake, she was down at John Marshall for a while on their basketball staff. She's now coaching volleyball at Wheeling Central, her first year there. And, she just said how hard it was to stop Hannah Dobbs from Toronto.
Fantastic.
And of course, Hannah Dobbs, she's a Division I recruit for the University of Maryland, Baltimore. And she had 23 kills and 17 digs in the game. So it is hard to stop and game plan for that. But, Coach Blake did a great job. I mean, I think they had 2 or 3 freshmen in the lineup for Wheeling Central. So that's tough on you. Helen Crawl had 8 kills for the Maroon Knights, and then Caitlin Blake had 6 kills for the Maroon Knights as well.
Fantastic. Okay, so then we're gonna continue our trend with volleyball here for a hot second. I got another one here.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead with Belair Big Reds.
The Blair Big Reds. They were playing Buckeye Local.
Buckeye Local.
Okay.
Yep, the Blair Big Reds started strong. They finished strong, which they won the match behind. Let's see, they won 25-19, 25-18. They lost their third set, 17-25, and then 25-22. They just had really strong net play in Team D that really sort of elevated that.
It sounds like that's the first one. We covered a couple volleyball here that went more than the 3 sets.
Yeah. And they came back and fought a little bit because that third game, their coach said that they kind of fell apart in that third game a little bit. They played really well those first 2 sets. They sort of lost it, and then they managed to bounce back in that 4th set as well.
As watching volleyball, Zach, it just seems like sometimes, just like any other sport, it's a game of runs. Maybe not as much in maybe football, but like basketball, to where it seems like if you're doing well, every ball you hit is in a perfect place. Mm-hmm. But if you're not doing well, it seems like it hits the net, or you just hit it off the side of your hand or your arm and it goes out of bounds, or you just don't hit it properly. I mean, just the skill that's needed for volleyball is unbelievable. And just the finite stuff that they have to do, and just from the ball being in and out, and being in the perfect place.
Well, it's that tenuous balance too, because you got to keep swinging. Like they talked about how Belair wasn't super strong on the net in their last couple games that they played, so they really emphasized it at practice and worked at it. It's one of those things where it sort of built those mental reps and sort of got that little bit of mental toughness to sort of drive them a little bit forward.
Yeah.
Because volleyball is one of those sports that you got to kind of have that little bit of that short memory, kind of like a pitcher or kind of like a defensive back in football. You got to be able to get rid of that what you had, and you got to keep moving forward and just get that toughness moving forward. At least a little bit. Belair is back playing Martins Ferry tonight.
Okay.
And then Buckeye Local doesn't play again until Saturday. They're traveling to Shadyside. Buckeye Local on a little bit of a slide right now. They're 0-6 on the season.
Okay, how about Blair Martins Ferry? That's a rivalry no matter what you're doing. Whether
Doesn't
you're playing
matter.
football,
Doesn't matter.
basketball, volleyball, tiddlywinks, Uno. I don't care what they're playing.
Yep.
It's a rivalry
It's
game.
absolutely a rivalry game, yeah.
Now, let's move on to the pitch.
Oh, the pitch.
I'll pitch you one, Zach.
Ooh,
How's that?
Pitch one, okay.
How about the Wheeling Park Patriot boys over Parkersburg South 8-0 in a matchup at Wheeling Island Stadium?
From my understanding, that Park soccer team is loaded. They're absolutely loaded, because when you see 8-0, you think, hey, maybe that was a football score.
Yeah,
but it was a football score.
I like that, Zach. That was pretty good. You're not bad getting back into the pun of things.
Hey, Tom's out there somewhere, and he's mad I just made that joke. So if he wants to stop us, he can be here.
How about this one? Wheeling Park, they come off a loss to Morgantown. So some good programs. You have Wheeling Park's a really good soccer program. Morgantown's a really good soccer program. Parkersburg South is another good soccer program in the state of West Virginia. But they got back into their groove of things. 7 different players scored for the Wheeling Park Patriots.
Good God. So that means one of them got 2 then.
Yeah.
One of them got 2 then. If it's 8-0 and 7 different players got it, I mean,
somebody
scored twice. Yeah, somebody scored twice.
So, great game by the Wheeling Park Patriots. Just some of the kids that scored. Lorenzo Donzella scored. Sam Rocky scored.
So, fun story. Lorenzo Donzella, I actually taught him when he was at the Schrader Center as like a first grader, and my wife actually taught him as a preschooler, and he used to show up every day to preschool in a Cincinnati Bengals jersey. And we asked him if he liked the Bengals, and he said, no, I just like the colors. And so he told his dad he wanted to buy a Bengals jersey just because he liked the colors. So every time I hear Lorenzo's name pop up, that's what kind of jumps into my head, is him wearing this Bengals jersey as a little preschooler. But it's awesome seeing him contributing there.
And it's when you win 8-0, when you don't give up a goal, it's not only the guy man in the net, but also the defense too.
Oh, absolutely.
And so the defense came up big, and that was the Patriots' 4th shutout in their 7 games this year.
Goodness gracious.
So they're really rolling. About a third way through the season or so.
That's
so
impressive.
that's about where you want to be.
Yeah.
Just a great game for the Patriots. Can't wait to see them. Just keep.
I was gonna say,
on.
Trey McLeod got one, didn't he?
Yeah, Trey McLeod.
So Trey
scored one.
McLeod, when I student taught at Bridge Street, his mother Raquel was actually the principal there.
Okay.
And Raquel now works at the board office, but she's really involved all through Ohio County schools. So it's awesome to see Trey sort of get in on the action there.
So we got a lot of Thursday action today,
Yeah,
Zach.
a lot of Thursday action.
Wheeling Park going up to Brook tonight, and Parkersburg South. It's not Saturday, but they're coming back to the Northern Panhandle to take on the Red Riders up at Weir.
Wow.
So
A lot of action.
Parkersburg South down a little bit this year at 1-7.
Right.
But traditionally, pretty good soccer program.
Absolutely.
How about we move to the girls' side for a little bit?
This Tom might disagree with me, but this is my least favorite part. Least favorite part about soccer.
I know what it is, Zach.
My least favorite part.
And it's something I can't do very well.
It's a draw.
It's a draw. I can give you a stick figure.
I can't stand it. They say it's high as like kissing your sister, and I can't stand it. Maybe Tom likes it because of that.
I don't know.
I hope he angry texts, but we're not live, so he'll have to see it after the fact.
So they played Marietta to a draw. They played the Tigers to a draw. Brings the Patriots to 4-2-1 on the season. The Tigers, came away with a draw. That's pretty good. Merritt Delk.
Merritt Delk's a fantastic athlete. She's a very good athlete.
For the Patriots. The Patriots are going to face Parkersburg South on Thursday. So another matchup today.
Another
Zach.
matchup. It's one of those things.
All
Like
kind of Thursday matchups.
Like I said, I really wish Tom was here so I could pick at him on the whole draw thing. But it just seems like it happens in soccer more than almost any other sport. Drives me nuts. Drives me nuts.
Draw.
Drives me nuts, Jeff.
You know what? I've never seen a draw in basketball or volleyball.
Never. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why. Don't know what the deal with that is, huh, Tom? Oh.
No.
Now you defend yourself? No, he's not here. So.
Now that we're about halfway through our segment.
I'm proud of that. That's good stuff.
How about we keep on the pitch, Zach?
All right. Keep on pitching, all right.
We're going to travel south. We're going to go to Moundsville again. So we're in Moundsville for some volleyball, Moundsville for some boys soccer action. The Monarchs down in the Magnolia Blue Eagles, 4-1. It's beautiful. Monarch Stadium.
Monarch
down
Stadium's
in Moundsville.
awesome. It's such a great field. I mean, I'm partial to it, being a Marshall County Schools employee, but I just think it's just a great field. It's got that great little atmosphere to it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's after years of coaching at Donahue and, playing in the mud pit before they turfed it up and got the drainage in there. But I think it's maybe because I just see what it was, and then I see how beautiful it is now. It's really awesome.
How about the Monarchs were down 1-0 at the half?
Ooh.
So you go to the half, you're down 1-0. You got to come up with something big. Coach Strope left it up to his team. He said, hey, somebody's got to step up. I think, Jude Thomas, one of their leaders in goal, came up and just told the team, hey, we got to play better. We got to get some wins on the board. And so he allowed him to make a little halftime speech to get the Monarchs ready to go.
That's awesome.
In the second half. Must have got the message, Zach.
Must have.
They come out, they win 4-1. To move to 2-3-1 on the season. Former Sherrard Ram, Quentin West had the deuce. He had 2 goals. Ethan Corvino and Trent Burton also all scored in the second half there for the Monarchs. So great job to the Monarchs. Getting that win. I know they're trying to build that thing up again.
I know they're young. I know
Program.
Quentin's a sophomore.
Quentin's a sophomore.
Yeah.
Quentin's a sophomore.
Because I was gonna say he was on that football team my first year that I came up to Sherrard, right?
Yeah. So Quentin was there.
Trying to place time there, yeah.
Yeah, so, Quentin came up big with a couple goals. That's great to see the younger kids. And I know Coach Strope's trying to build that thing from the ground up, from
Absolutely.
the youth league that's a big supporter of Ohio Valley Athletics. And down in Moundsville, they have a great youth soccer program.
Absolutely.
With
a great
Brian,
one.
Brian running that down there. And they're always a big supporter of Ohio Valley Athletics. And they're going to build that thing up, Zach. They're going to get some players in that program. And I believe in what Coach Strope's doing down there.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of good stuff. there. This one's kind of interesting. I'm gonna pass this over to like our resident. Like I'll let you put your AD cap on.
Okay. Here comes the AD cap.
Let's get the AD cap out. Yep.
I don't wear many hats, but I wear a lot of hats. Does that make sense, Zach?
I
don't wear hats, but I wear
get you,
many.
Jack.
Okay. I had to say it twice just to make sure.
I,
I didn't know if
listen, I like it. I like it. I'm not
ticked.
sure our wonderful viewers, which we have a lot more of now, apparently.
Yeah, we do.
That was fun.
That was fun. I don't know if it was the way we were promoting this thing, or maybe they just saw the two good-looking guys on there and just kind of passed it off. But
like, hey, those guys have good opinions.
They do,
but really bad picks, I guess.
I've never had a bad opinion, Zach.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think I've ever had one.
I haven't either, but don't ask my wife.
I won't ask her. Not at all, Zach. I already know after what happened today, I know that she might not have a great opinion of you. I do know that. How about on the football field, Zach?
Yep.
We had Perry come to town last week from up in Pennsylvania to play Wheeling Central. Really good game. Wheeling Central came up out on top, 20-18. Perry was going to come back to Wheeling to play the Wheeling Park Patriots, but somehow
this is crazy.
They scheduled 2 week 3 games. I don't know how that happens, unless maybe they kind of thought that they weren't going to be on the upper end of this one or something. And Coach Doc started working the phones. As an athletic director, it's the week of the game, and then you're trying to find another game from a team that has a bye. And Coach Doc on the phone, he's got Pittsburgh, Perry, that canceled on him. So he found a team out of Cleveland, and they were going to come, but they backed out, and then another team from up in Sandusky was going to come down, but they canceled out. So Wheeling Park's without a game this week, Zach.
Oof.
And where that hurts is in that final standings.
Absolutely, I was just going to say that in that last little bit. It's just, oh man.
Even if you go in, Park already has a loss on the season, and so now you could go 8-1 at best,
right?
And you don't want to get trapped down there at the bottom of that bracket because you're going to run into Huntington. You're going to run into Martinsburg.
Yep.
You're going to run into some of those traditional powers that you want to stay away from.
Yeah, I haven't spent a ton of time looking at that upper end of that bracket yet, so I don't know where the season's going to fall. I know once we start getting a little bit later in the season, we'll start looking at those rankings on where those football teams lie. But yeah, that's what you got to worry about is that game going to hurt you in the playoff point standing?
Yeah.
And because for Park, in an ideal world for them, they want to be in that upper half hosting a game instead of having to travel to one of those schools that are a little bit farther away.
Midland, you got Parkersburg South. Parkersburg's playing well this year.
Parkersburg is playing well. Yeah, there's a lot of those teams.
How about Hurricane? Have you seen that running back from Hurricane, Zach?
He's a beast.
Yeah,
he's a beast.
So, but it was I just can't imagine what Coach Doc's thinking.
Oh my gosh, and I know Coach Doc. He's so meticulous in the way that he plans everything. I'm sure this is driving him just nuts. I mean, just absolutely crazy. But so it's unfortunate for Wheeling Park. And I mean, they've got a great team. They want to play. They want to play somebody.
But I'll tell you what, Zach, and we're going to promote this a little bit. So there's no game this weekend on Wheeling Island Stadium, but they're going to have a band night. And then the cheerleaders are going to perform. So they're encouraging people to come out,
awesome.
Watch the band play at 7 o'clock. They're going to have a performance by the cheerleaders and members of the Wheeling Park Alumni Band are going to be there to perform. Cool. So if you're still, you don't have football, but you still have the band on Friday night. You have the cheerleaders on Friday night. So go out and support them for a little bit.
Do yourself a favor. Go over and support the band. And before you do, go get some of the best wings I've ever had over at the Voodoo. And then hop over.
Go to the Voodoo.
Voodoo's fantastic. The Voodoo has fantastic wings over there on the island. Go to the Voodoo. Go support the band night. Go see the cheerleaders. Go still support them, Wheeling Park. And like I said, go get the Voodoo. They have fantastic stuff. I mean, hey, if they want to throw some sponsorship buckaroos or some wings, hey, I'm not going to turn those down.
Yeah, you won't turn wings down.
I'll never turn wings down.
Park's going to host Universities their next game on Friday. It says here the 16th, but I'm not wondering if that's not the 15th.
It's going to be the 15th,
Yeah, it's
right?
going to be the 15th.
Yeah,
I think it's on the 15th. So, hey, Wheeling Park doesn't have a game this week, but we do have some great games this week. So,
absolutely, we have some great games.
I think Ohio Valley Athletics may be heading over to St. Clair's or to out to Wheeling to watch St. Clairsville, the Red Devils, take on the Maroon Knights. It's going to be a great game this week. No Perry and Wheeling Park. Barnesville has New Cumberstown coming to town, and that new turf over in Barnesville.
We've got Harrison Central and Union Local. That game's coming up. It's going to be awesome.
I just saw Union Local last week against the Monarchs.
Awesome. It's going to be awesome.
They had a pretty good lead at halftime. The Monarchs came back. A non-pass interference call that was a little controversial.
I was going to say I saw it. It was I saw the film of that one, and
and I was telling you,
that's a tough one.
You still got to go win the game. They still even would have had to score,
Yep.
and then they still extra point or two, whatever they decide to go for, and then maybe overtime.
That
so
was
you don't know what's going
shared.
to happen, but you at least want a chance there at the end.
That was shared in our coaching group for Sherrard this year. One of our coaches sent the film out and it's like, this is awful. He's like, you don't want and I've only seen the play posted after the fact, and it's so hard being one of those officials in that moment trying to make that call. But it's one of those things. It's like, this is awful, but it shouldn't have come down to that call. What the statement was in our coaching chat was like, does this suck that it happened and it was a no call? Yes. But it shouldn't have come down to that being the deciding factor. But John Marshall's got such flux at the quarterback position right now. And we got a dog in the fight. We really like the one that is playing currently. Personally speaking,
sometimes, and I think the adage has changed a little bit. I heard some coach speak that if you have two quarterbacks, you don't have one. But sometimes if you have two quarterbacks, you just have two quarterbacks. And so sometimes that's the fact. But I think as they get more experience, they're going to get better. Whether it's Jackson, whether it's Diggy, they're going to get more experience down there for John Marshall.
It's one of those things I can't really comment on and say I'm unbiased because, we coach Jackson. I love Jackson. He's a great kid. He would be my rallying point, but that's just because I know him and I've coached him.
Yeah.
I see the way that he sees the field. I see the way that he sees the game, and I see the way that he loves the game too. Yeah. So not saying that the other quarterback doesn't love the game. But
Diggy again. Coach White knows him really well and comes highly recommend. Another great kid,
right?
And again another kid that knows the game. So I think you have two kids that can play the quarterback position. They just need some reps. But hey, if you let the game come down to one call like that, there's other things you can look at during the game. But the Monarchs looking to get back on the win streak. University is coming back to the Northern Panhandle. They're going up to Brook to play the Bruins.
That's going to be a tough game for the Bruins, I think.
So
not discounting them, but it's going to be tough.
So University is going to come up and play the Brook Bruins. Fort Fry, who pulled off a close victory last week against the Blair Big Reds, are taking on Waterford. I know that's a huge crosstown rivalry there between Fort Fry and Waterford.
If I'm looking correctly, Jeff, we've got a game that's gone final.
Okay.
Game that's gone final. Edison Wildcats beating the Oak Glen Golden Bears by a score of 34-0.
Yeah, that was a Thursday night game this week.
Thursday night game.
Edison over Oak Glen, 34-0. Played at the beautiful facility at Edison. If you never caught Edison's facilities, make it a trip. You have 6-7 weeks left in the football season. Take one of those Friday nights and go to Edison. You're gonna message us on Facebook. You're gonna message on our YouTube channel and say, "Thank you. We went to Edison." I'm telling you. I'm just telling you. How about this matchup this week, Zach? Belair at Shadyside.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Hey, bring that back.
Love that.
Quite a few years ago, bringing that matchup back. Belair and Shadyside, great rivalry game. It's going to be a great one this week. Steubenville taking on the USO Wildcats, I believe this week, or Obama Academy, one of the two that they're taking on there. We're Madonna taking on Toronto, and unfortunately for the Red Knights, Zeb Kinsey, stud, Zach, worth the price of admission.
Right.
Unfortunately, hurt early in the game last week with a foot injury. He's out for the season.
Oh, you hate to hear that.
Quarterback, middle linebacker.
Hate to hear that. We were so high on him. I'm
still high on Zeb, and
man, that's heartbreaking.
Here goes out to Zeb. Just a quick, speedy, good recovery for him, and he's going to come back. He's going to be really strong. Zach, he's one of the top players in the Valley, and hoping to see him come back really strong from that foot injury. Disappointing for Toronto, but they'll still rally around him and be able to get some wins this year.
Game I'm looking forward to, Lindsley and St. Francis de Sales. They're playing actually at West Liberty University's field. Yeah. Okay. That one's going to be at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, and then Lindsley also will play Steubenville up there in late in September, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's going to be a great game.
And it feels like Lindsley's got a little bit of a stretch. I'm not sure what the actual stretch is. I'd have to look it up. But I feel like Lindsley goes on to being road warriors for a little bit, where I don't feel like they have another home game for quite a while.
Yeah,
and this is a home game, but not a home game for Lindsley.
Yeah, they do play a couple home games, quote unquote, up at West Liberty. To play on that beautiful turf up there.
They've got two. I know they normally do. Their homecoming, they do it like as an afternoon game, and they make a real big deal for the alumni to come back for all that sort of stuff. But
very nice.
I think they've got a road stretch until that homecoming game.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a few weeks on the road or not, but I'm interested to see what this Columbus team does when they come in and play Lindsley up at West Liberty.
Yeah. Cameron's got a big one this week against Frontier. Mm-hmm. That'll be a great matchup. We have the Monroe Central Seminoles and Caldwell Redskins from Caldwell. We have Buckeye Trail and Shenandoah.
Ton of good games.
If you again,
do we want to take our good games and just go straight into our pick'em, Jeff?
Hey, I love doing a pick'em. Hey, I'll lose 6 or 7 games this week. I don't mind.
Listen, Last time we didn't do this last week, but the last time we went, I beat Jeff. I'm just saying.
That's not saying much. All you gotta do is win a game.
6-4. I mean,
okay.
All right. That's respectable, I guess, right?
Let's see if I can get a couple more of these.
Okay, so week 4 games. We've got our first one that I'm very interested. Very, very, very interested in what our opinions here are. We have the 100 Hornets traveling to Bellsville
to take on the Blue Devils.
The Blue Devils.
Hey, Zach, I know your pick already. Okay, even without knowing the teams, I know who you're going to pick. I'm going Bellsville Blue Devils. They're at home. The Devils program's on the rise. I'm going the Blue Devils of Bellsville.
I remember the electricity in 100 when the 100 Hornets were back. When they finally had a varsity team again, Jeff. I remember the electricity going there to watch them play that first game back. I remember walking through the Donahue coaches, seeing what that football means to that community. They beat the Seabees. Beat them. Beat the Seabees. I don't care what happened last week. When they beat Clay Vattel, I was pumped for 100. I'm picking 100. I want to see them start getting on a roll. I want to see football back in 100 West Virginia. Back.
100. In 100 West Virginia.
100. Let's go. 100 by 100. Let's go.
Who's next, Zach?
We've got St. Francis de Sales at Lindsley.
They're
out of Columbus.
I don't know much out of St. Francis de Sales other than historically they've been a good program.
I'm going to give you one fact here that I don't want to jade you one way or another.
I don't think you're going to.
The quarterback of St. Francis de Sales is Ryan Day's son.
Okay.
So there's some football blood there. So Ohio State's head coach Ryan Day, it's his son RJ is the quarterback for Columbus de Sales.
Okay. So Ohio State is going to lose to Notre Dame in a couple weeks, and St. Francis de Sales is going to lose to Lindsley when they come to Wheeling.
St. Francis de Sales, all right. I'm going to take Lindsley on the hilltop.
Yeah.
I just like Lindsley. I mean, I think it's going to be a tough game for them. I think that from what I've heard of that St. Francis roster, they're loaded top to bottom. So I'm interested to see what happens there. But I mean, Lindsley's good too. I mean, they didn't lose that many people from last year, and they were tough last year too. So I think we both went Lindsley there.
Yeah.
Then we come to Union Local at Harrison Central.
I think this is going to be a great game, Zach. Like I said, I saw Union Local play last week. I know Harrison Central is huge across the line, like big across the line. Mm-hmm. Union Local is a little young. They have some skill players. I really like the way they played last week. I'm going to have to go Jets here. I'm going to Union Local.
You said one thing. Like, I didn't know really a whole lot about this team until we started talking about them here.
Okay.
But you said Harrison Central's big on the line.
They are big on the line.
You know how I love the big Mahonkers on the line. So I'm going to go Harrison Central just because Jeff said they were big on the line.
They are.
And I love line play. So I'm going Harrison Central. All right. Our next game, we have East Liverpool at Beaver Local.
Wow. This is a tough one, Zach. I'm going to go with the home team on this one. East Liverpool's undefeated on the season. But I like the Beaver Local Beavers. I like them at home. I'm going Beaver Local.
You know, we always say when I don't really know a whole ton about either team, I like to try to take the home team. So I'm probably gonna end up going Beaver Local here, just because I don't really know a ton about East Liverpool at all. So we're in agreement there. We've agreed on a couple.
Yeah, that's all right.
We got to get something to break the record up here. All right, so we've got Valley at Clay Battelle.
We're not breaking the record here.
Valley at Clay Battelle.
One of my favorite mascots. Lumberjacks. Just a lumberjack. Isn't that a great mascot?
Hey, you're a lumberjack and you're okay.
Or the girls basketball team, the Lumberjills.
Lumberjills.
I'm going Valley. I'm going with the Lumberjacks over the CBs of Clay Battelle.
So,
and I know Zach already.
I have a new sweeping declaration.
Here it is.
All right, so I have my first sweeping declaration that I went against my heart and I picked Central and then they lost. So I went sweeping declaration. I'm never picking Central again on the pick'ems. If you lose to 100, who I love 100, but if you lose to 100, I'm not picking you for the rest of the year. Period. Clay Battelle's washed. Valley's up. Let's go Lumberjacks. All right, we have our next game. We have Musselman at Morgantown.
Wow. Morgantown is really on the rise. They got the program running down there, and look for High Valley Athletics possibly do a little something on Morgantown. I was talking to a friend and former colleague that said they would love some coverage down there in Morgantown, and I said High Valley Athletics will be there for you. And I like where the program's going. I like the new coach. I'm taking Morgantown. I'm taking the Mohegans. They're maybe not quite state championship level yet with those top programs, but boy, they're getting close, Zach. Quickly.
Yeah, I guess I don't know a ton about either one of these teams. I'm inclined to pick Morgantown just because they're one of our Ohio Valley teams.
You're allowed, Zach.
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be a homer. I'm just going to pick Morgantown. Okay, I'm just going to pick them. I'm going to be a homer. I'm going to pick them. Okay, we have Logan at Warren.
I was high on Warren. That program's been down for a while. I was high on Logan beginning of the season. They got a win, and they've lost a couple recently. Dropped a 1 and 2 in the season, but from looking at them this off season and just seeing what they have coming back, I've got to believe that they're going to get a couple wins. And I tell you what, Zach, there's not enough weeks enough. They need to extend football season to about 56 weeks or something. I don't know. Because if you've never been to Warren to a football game.
I have not been to Warren.
I tell you what, I don't know. Go to a game at Warren. I tell you to go to a game everywhere. I don't know why. You're not going to have enough time. But
there's not enough weeks in the season.
Go to Warren. I don't know why. Maybe it's because we stopped at Wings, Etc. Gator and I on the way down, and we had some great wings.
Wings, Etc.
Oh, man. Their wings are,
Wings, Etc.
Unbelievable. That's to a franchisee. We don't have the money to do one, but we'd love you to have a Wings, Etc. in Wheeling. But I'm going Warren because it's a great place, just a nice drive to go watch a football game, and they're on the rise. I like what they're doing down there. I'll take Warren over Logan.
Warren's record is what right now? They're
1 and 2.
1 and 2. Oh boy, did they have a game cancel on them?
No, because they got Logan. They played 3 games. So
okay, 3 games. Okay, yeah. Okay, gotcha. I miscounted the men. I can't do it. I'm picking against them. I'm picking Logan on this one. Just looking at Warren, like where they were last year, I think they're going to be better than last year. But I don't know. I just got a gut feel about it. It's one of those weird ones. I just don't know. Just going Logan. I don't have a good reason.
Okay.
Don't have a good reason. All right. So then we got Meadowbrook at Crooksville.
Meadowbrook's a little down right now, and they're traveling to Crooksville. I'm going to take Crooksville. Sorry, Meadowbrook. Maybe a tough week this week. I'm taking Crooksville.
Yeah, Meadowbrook's down. They're going on a bit of a travel. I don't know how far Crooksville is from Meadowbrook, but I can't imagine it's a super easy drive. So I'm just gonna go with the home team there because again, I don't know a whole lot about them, so I'm going home team. We've agreed a lot today.
I know.
All right, we've agreed a lot today. All right, we've got Buckeye Trail at Shenandoah.
This is the close schools to each other. I'm going Shenandoah in this one. Both schools looking to get a couple more wins on the season. Buckeye Trail's looking to get off the snide there. They're 0-3 on the season. Shenandoah's picked up a victory. I think they're going to get another one at home. I'm going with the Zeps from Shenandoah.
I think they're close. They're close enough. They're rivals. When they get those rivalry games, you got to throw those records out. I'm going to go Buckeye Trail. Let them grab their first win. I'm going to go Buckeye Trail here. Yeah. Again, I got a feeling about it. Like I don't like seeing any team go winless, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick Trail there. Pick a little bit of the upset. I mean, I guess it's an upset. I mean, one's 0-3, one's 1-2, right?
We'll call it an upset. And they're going on the road.
Yeah, they're going on the road. Let's see it.
What's the last one here?
Our last one, we have Madonna at Toronto.
Madonna at Toronto. We talked about Toronto earlier with Zeb Kinsey going down, and they lost to Weir last week. With that injury, kind of threw him for a loop. I think they're going to come back this week and lean on some other players. I think the game plan was around Zeb Kinsey. and now they're going to, game plan for a couple other players because he's not the only kid they had on that team. So I'm going to go Toronto at home to beat Madonna.
I think Weirton Madonna is not Weir. They're just not. They're completely different teams. They're in completely different setups. I think Toronto. I agree with you on the Toronto thing. I think Toronto is going to have that game plan that's been shifted. It's not around somebody that got hurt, which sucks for Zeb because we were so excited to see what Zeb had.
I was so excited to watch him this year. Really
I still think I picked Toronto. They've just got more dogs than Weirton Madonna. I mean, they're not that much bigger than Weirton Madonna in overall student enrollment. I don't think.
No,
but I don't know. I just feel like when something like that happens, it can almost be that rallying cry around that team. And so it's something that they can end up sort of rallying to. And then our tiebreaker is our East Liverpool at Beaver local score.
Yeah, and I'm going to go, I went with Beaver in that one. I'm going to go Beaver local 32, East Liverpool 27.
I'm so awful, I don't remember who I picked. So I'm going to go Beaver local 21, East Liverpool 14.
Okay, so you picked Beaver.
I don't know if I
remember picking Beavers because I like Beavers.
I don't remember picking. I don't remember who I picked. So
did you even pick anybody in that one? Did you skip that?
I definitely picked. I just don't remember who I picked.
You didn't say You didn't say Potters. I'm taking the Potters because I love the pot plants. I was just doing that. I was doing a lot of landscaping out front.
No, I'm sure John, our user John Marshall, is going to laugh if I picked if I picked in the tiebreaker opposite of who I picked up here.
Are you allowed to do that?
I don't know. I'm doing it.
You're doing
again. I have no idea who I picked. So sorry, John Marshall. I love being a pain in your ass when we do these. So you're welcome. At some point we need to meet because apparently I will drive you nuts with that. So I apologize, but I'm not really that sorry.
Hey Zach, how about a shout out to some of our sponsors?
Yeah, some of our sponsors.
How about the U.S. Army just doing a great job for us, supporting the kids of the Valley. And if you go to our website, go to highvalleyathletics.com, right at the top of the page, every page, you're going to see a clickable banner ad, Be All You Can Be, United States Army. You click on the you're going to find all kind of information. You're going to find out how to join. Really easy, just fill in some information, and they'll get everything you need. We really thank them for being a part of us to help to give back to the Valley. Thank you to the United States Army. How about Brad over at Swan Sports Shop, Zach?
Fantastic. Just great work. I mean, like I said, I've already talked so much about how much I love the gear that he puts together, all the work that he does. Before we sort of make our little jump here, I thought we could do, if you guys haven't seen this yet, we talked about it a little bit last week. The football preview. Jeff and some of our other writers did put a ton of work onto this. I get a credit in here. I don't think I deserved it. I did this little bit of graphic design work, but my name's in here. Yeah, it's whatever. It's awesome.
Your name's in there, but it was for Zach's name's in there for a contributor, not just to the magazine, but a contributor to the website, a contributor to our podcast. And these were people that contribute to make us successful and to give back to the community, because Zach is giving back a lot. Even though we give him raises all the time, I think we gave him a 200% raise one time.
My raises are 1,200% of what my base salary is, which is, my base salary being nothing. So, but this is awesome. If it's not too late in the season to get some knowledge, get some awesome football stuff. The schedules are in there. I mean, it's awesome. It's beautiful. The layout is fantastic.
How about some of the artwork?
I'm showing some video. The artwork, just the design is awesome. It's plain and simple. It's got so many Valley teams on it. It's got high school teams. It's got some of our local college teams in it.
Yeah.
But $15. Taxes and shipping included. $15.
$15 tax and ship. But hey,
on our website. But
how about this, Zach? How about
great deal here? Great deal.
You say $15. I could go to Starbucks and get a couple coffees. I could go somewhere else, and I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that.
But whatever.
But whatever. By this point,
what are they gonna do? Sue us? Maybe.
Why don't you go to one of our sponsors that sponsored this magazine and are sponsoring your student athletes by promoting our magazine?
Yep.
Zach, what are some of the places we can pick up a free copy? You just go and say, "Hey, can I get a copy of that High Valley Athletics football preview?"
I'm just gonna throw them out here. I'm gonna go quick. Elite Massage Therapy, Silver Rail Bar and Grill, the Army Recruiting Office in Wheeling.
Yes.
We've got the Fat Apple, Lori Grizel State Farm Insurance, Bullpen Fight Club, Goldball Chiropractic, Ohio Valley Nutrition, both in St. C and Steubenville. We've got Nick Myers, real estate agent, friend of ours.
EXP Realty.
EXP Realty.
Get a hold of Nick Myers.
I've heard there's a scavenger hunt, and he's put these in every one of the houses that he's listing.
Ooh.
So I don't know if that's true. I'm making stuff up on the spot. If so, pressure on you, Nick. Go put these on coffee tables and houses you're showing.
Yeah.
But Swan Sporting Goods, Apollo Cleaning Restoration, Fireworks Supermarket, Blue Water Fitness Center, and See for Yourself. So some of the ones that we've already given shout outs to.
Yeah.
But these are awesome. They funded a really, really awesome piece of writing and supported these kids in the Valley, which is what this is all about.
How about a couple things on our sponsors, Zach? All these businesses giving back to the kids of the Valley. I think that's incredible.
It's awesome.
To these
it's
businesses.
Absolutely great.
And a special shout out to Ohio Valley Nutrition, again, Zach.
Yep.
St. Clairsville.
Our banner sponsor.
Online.
Since I made up our overlay here, they've been in our corner. Literally, they've been in our corner.
They've been in our corner. And they'll be in your corner when you go over there. And don't think of it that you have to be a big bodybuilder and you want to get ripped and you want to do all this stuff. That's not really what they're for.
Nope.
Oh, Zach.
I'm sorry.
Something
we're not allowed to comment on, but it would be a real pick six if it happened. Yeah, it'd be crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's got me all tied up. Zach.
We got it all tied up. Hey.
Yeah.
We'd be lying if we said we weren't paying attention to what's happening there.
Yeah. Trying to pay attention to, two things at one time. But thanks again, Ohio Valley Nutrition, just with us since the beginning, and that says something to what they want to do. They want to be part of the Valley. And again, multivitamins, cold and flu season's coming up, Zach.
And listen,
I've known people have some colds and stuff.
There are bugs firing through our schools right now, guys, knocking people on their butts. We've got kids that are getting this, that, or the other. I mean, the dreaded COVID variants that are out right now, they're not fun.
Why not?
They're not fun
try to be
all.
as healthy as you can. Just go over there and
go
say,
get some vitamins.
Hey, what can I do? What kind of multivitamins would you recommend? They're going to recommend some great stuff for you, Zach.
Yep.
They're not going to want to arm you on that one.
That's quite a tip for you there.
Quite a
tip.
Zach, the last thing we'd like to talk about before we go, how about these OVAC football standings? I know last year we did the West Virginia standings and we did the Ohio standings. We never did talk about some OVAC standings.
OVAC standings,
early OVAC standings.
And because, OV Athletics, we love the OVAC because, we both have a similar goal. We're trying to focus on, not that we're an athletic conference, but we like to focus on those teams that are all up and down the Ohio Valley. So it's really awesome. We're going to sort of look at those here in not even a hot second right now.
You want to start 5A?
I think we got to go. Let's go big to small. Let's go big to small.
Let's go 5A. And we know it's early, and we know the standings. They change back and forth a little bit. But look at this group at the top of 5A. You have Parkersburg South at the top.
Yep.
Morgantown, Wheeling Park. How about this one, Zach? Brook.
We
all 2-0. Okay.
Yep.
And they're going to be battling for that top spot, and I believe I know Parkersburg South plays Morgantown and Park. Park plays Morgantown and South, and Brook I know plays Park.
And
then South and Morgantown.
And then one of the best teams on that list, Steubenville, is below them.
They are.
They're below Brook. Now, a lot of times, and not to criticize the OVAC at all, but a lot of times I know that Steubenville doesn't really have a chance to win it because I don't think they play enough conference games. Right?
Yeah, they have a hard time.
That's their big discount, right?
Yeah, they have a hard time playing some conference games, but they do usually get enough in to be in the hunt.
Yep.
For that one, but they got to do really well in those games, Zach.
Got to do really well.
Universities up there too. They're 1-1. But you can't count them out, Zach. What a great start!
And then we have a little bit. And then we have a little bit at the bottom there. A little bit of our rebuilding teams in 5A. You got Marietta, Dover, Warren Local, John Marshall. John Marshall hurts. It hurts. We love those kids. We've seen those kids for years.
And that game last week was real key.
Was so close.
Playing Union Local, another OVAC team. You could pick up a victory there, and you might
maybe change your destiny a little bit there.
Just a little bit. How about drop to 4A, Zach? Your Potters from East Liverpool.
East Liverpool.
Okay.
East Liverpool up there.
They're at the top of the standings. I know I picked against you this week, East Liverpool. Prove me wrong and stay atop of that Class 4 standings.
Yep.
But again, look at the teams we have. East Liverpool,
Weir,
and Edison. All undefeated on the season.
All undefeated.
Battling for that top spot.
Now
who's next, Zach?
St. Clairsville. I mean, there's some good blue blood teams that are down the rankings.
Okay, so How about after St. Clairsville,
Man.
Zach? Do we have any teams after that?
Oh, Beaver Local, Harrison Central. I mean,
Gee, I mean, it's just, one after, it seems like 5A we thought we had a battle.
Yep,
How about
yep.
4A?
4A's got some dogs there. Got some dogs there. And then, the OVAC, it takes a little bit for those standings to even out a little bit just because, the little bit of the extra week that Ohio has in there. So sometimes we see a little bit of a early season ranking slide for those Ohio teams just because they have that extra game. But that extra game can also hurt them. You've got a team like, unfortunately, Cambridge, who's sitting at 0-3 right now.
Yeah.
So they've had 3 games. They haven't managed to eke in one of those wins, so they're not going to get more of those points in those standings.
Yeah. How about moving down to 3A? We're right in the middle, Zach, at 3A. Again, look at the class of 3. Union Local.
Yeah, tough.
Fort Fry. Barnesville.
Lindsley.
All undefeated.
Yep, and then you got Central at 1-1 there, and that Ferry team's tough too. Ferry's 1-2, but they're a tough 1-2.
I like what Coach Kropka's doing over there. I had a great conversation with him this summer, and just we talked for a couple hours, and he had mentioned, and I said, sorry to take time away from your family, and he said, no, my whole family thanks you for taking this long with me on the phone, and he said they'd appreciate it if you talk with me for a couple more hours. But I'll tell you what, one team, that Barnesville team, I went over to Bel-Air to watch that Barnesville team, and oh my, Zach.
Well, and
they're pretty good.
Well, and even mentioning Bel-Air, Jeff. I mean, Bel-Air's sitting there at 0-3, and I mean, who have they lost to? I mean, they've lost to Barnesville, they've lost to
Fort Fry,
so they've lost to some of these other loaded
and
teams.
They lost to Canton South.
Yeah, so it's like it's an 0-3, but like that's a hard 0-3 for them.
Zach, it just came. They're the best 0-3 team in the OVAC. They might be the best 0-3 team within a 1,000-mile radius. I don't know. But
they might be because they're good top to bottom, but they've just gone up against a meat grinder.
Well coached, but look at that. Canton South, then they have Fort Fry, and then they have Fort Fry last week. Just
to sell it again, for our viewers.
Where are you getting that schedule from, Zach?
Oh, I'm getting it from our handy dandy OV Athletics preview. That we did here. So they had Garaway, Barnesville, Fort Fry. And that we've got for Bel-Air, and that
Garaway. Sorry, it wasn't Canton.
Garaway. North Canton was St. Clairsville.
St. Clairsville, yeah. So it's Garaway, but Garaway, another program that's going to be competing for a state championship.
They've got that chance to sort of get on a rebound here because they've got Shadyside coming up. They've got Cambridge. They've got Indian Creek, and then they come back to then they've got St. Clairsville.
Then they got an undefeated right now East Liverpool.
St. Clairsville, East Liverpool, Union Local, Ferry. I mean, Bel-Air's got a tough schedule.
They do.
They've got a tough schedule.
But if they can get to 5 wins with that schedule, they might be hosting a playoff.
They might be feisty. Yeah, they're what are they, noon or 2 kicks?
But they can't anymore. All Ohio games, playoff games, are on Saturdays now.
Oh, that's right.
They moved them all to Saturdays. I don't know why they did that. Friday night's a great night for football.
Friday nights are the best.
How about moving to Double A, Zach?
Double A.
Hey, there's the Redskins. Caldwell's right there,
yep.
Undefeated. The only undefeated team right now, or not the only undefeated team, but the undefeated team at the top of the Double A standings is Caldwell, followed by Southern Local. There's Toronto right there, 2-1.
Toronto.
Bridgeport, the Bulldogs, 2-1. We got another undefeated team, Steubenville Catholic at
3-0. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for them. I'm really happy for them. Because I think I don't know if I doubted them a little bit earlier in the season, but it seems like I think the last time we talked about Steubenville Catholic, I was just curious to see what they ended up doing.
Let's roll on down the river. Who's right after Steubenville Catholic?
We got River 1-1.
And, they're not a 1-1 football team. The River's a very good football team.
No, they're just not.
You got, Shady Side's in there, Monroe Central, the bottom's Clay Battelle, and Frontiers in there as well.
Yep. Then we go down to 1A. We've got Valley and Madonna at the top. I think Madonna's going to slide a little bit. I think because I picked them to lose this week at with Toronto. But I mean, Valley, Madonna, Payden City.
How about Payden City? The Wildcats coming in at 1-0.
And then Bellsville. We'll see what happens there. After they lose to 100.
Yeah. Hundreds. Hey, 500. They're 1-1.
500. Yeah, we got to go 1-1. And then Cameron, slid down.
How about Cameron at 1-1?
I mean, I know the coaches are losing their minds over at that loss.
Yeah, that first one.
I know they're losing their minds. I mean, Cameron usually does so well in the regular season. It was weird to see them drop one of those.
Yes, so early as well, but they're going to come back. They're going to get some wins.
It's early. It's early enough. They can rebound.
Cameron's going to battle
yep.
for that
yep.
Class Single A championship, definitely.
They normally do, and then we'll see where they fall into that Single A playoff bracket and go from there. Interested to see if they can maybe make a little bit of a deeper push this year in that playoff bracket, because it seems like every year they're like, oh, we're ready to go, we're ready to roll.
But
and
last year, Zach,
some of the wheels fall off in the playoffs.
They won one and hosted the next.
Yep.
So, if you're hosting the next one, you win one more, you're in the semis.
You're in the semis. But yeah, so I'm just interested to see if Cameron can go the distance this year instead of the wheels fall off once the competition starts ratcheting.
Yeah. Zach,
I would love nothing more than to see that, because you guys went out to Cameron a couple times last year. I know the one you had a parka lined with hand warmers because you and Tom were freezing. And,
it was cold out there that day.
It was super cold. Then I going to playoff games in shorts and a t-shirt because I'm a psychopath.
Yeah.
But just a lot of good stuff top to bottom there. A lot of good stuff top to bottom.
Zach, great doing another show with you.
Oh, fantastic.
Last shout out for our sponsors, United States Army, joining that American Athletic Conference, so congratulations, United States Army. They have a huge ad on the back of there they are. There's United States Army, QR code there on the back. Go to our website, click on the link at the top, United States Army.
Look at that. That's a great back ad right there. Trying to get it where it's not mine. There we go. Not my glare, just great.
Be all you can be. United States Army. Just click on that link. It'll show you how to sign up. It's a great opportunity. Hundreds of careers, Zach, that you can follow in the United States Army. Thank you to them. Without them, this isn't possible.
Not possible.
So thanks again to the United States Army. High Valley Nutrition. Again, go visit them. It's going to be cold and flu season. You're going to want to get those multivitamins. Maybe that winter, you're worried a little bit about that winter weight.
Yep.
So maybe some weight loss assistance there over to High Valley Nutrition. Swan Sports Shop, all your sporting good needs. Go see Swan Sports Shop. And then maybe a fall vacation. Go see for yourself.
Yeah. Go check them out. Like I said, maybe that's where Tom is. Who knows? I'm going to start making a little graphic. It's like, where's Tom? It's going to be his head photoshopped on Carmen Sandiego, because we don't know where in the world Tom
I was going to make
is.
a Carmen Sandiego reference, but I didn't know if you'd get it or not.
Yeah, where in the they used to play it over the PA when I was in elementary school.
Yeah. I was in elementary school at the time, I think, too.
Yeah. It's just awesome. All right.
Teaching.
But, great. And then be sure to, like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Our viewership's finally ticking up. It's really exciting.
Taking off here for
so make sure to subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified when we publish stuff. We're working on, our tired content producer is working on making sure we get onto all the podcast networks and everything, too. So be sure to look out for us in audio format, although I think you lose a little bit of something, when you're not watching us on video.
You lose looks. Just take a picture, just take a screenshot and listen to it and just look at us.
Yeah, it's not.
I would.
It's not our preview, but if you need us to send headshots to you guys, just to compensate when you're listening on the podcast, that's fine. We're willing to do that. Yeah, we're willing to do that. But until next time, guys.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
We love it.
HighValleyAthletics.com.
Go enjoy some sports, guys.
Just better.
Go enjoy some sports. Go do it.